A lot of fear from at least the students and some of the younger folks who I've spoken to. I actually did just speak with an older gentleman who didn't want to give his name, and he tells me that he feels a lot of sadness over what he's seeing in his neighborhoods. That's why he wanted to come out here. Sadness and shame were the words that he used. He said he was ashamed, which is why he wanted to come out and express his feelings. Yeah, it appears as though they're walking back to the meeting place, which was the park and ride lot, just less than a block away. A pretty short walk, to be honest. This was supposed to be for about an hour. We're kind of coming up on that. We've passed it, but it looks as though things are starting to wrap up. We do see a couple of folks lingering, but by and large, this was supposed to be a peaceful event. This was billed as a peaceful event. And though we see some law enforcement out here in tactical gear, by and large, this appears to be fairly peaceful, at least for the last 10 to 15 minutes. And now it appears as though folks are walking back to the initial meeting point. So we may follow this group and see where they're going and what their plans are next. All right, here, can you hold it? I just want to ask them. And is there any way I could interview you about that?
No, we're not.
Okay.
We have a media contact.
Okay. All right, so sorry.
Hey, do you want to try to talk to one or two more people?
Absolutely.
Excuse me,
Want to
sir.
talk? Here we go. Can we ask you guys?
I can't speak to the press.
Okay. Can we ask you?
What's up?
I saw your got some music out here.
Do you need me to get the profanity off the screen? It's gonna be hard. It's all over me.
We can cut it out. But yeah, you got your music going. What made you want to come out here today? What did you see?
What did I see? Well,
I
landed at 11:30 last night, and I've been awake protesting ever since. So I went down to the street, what's it called, Portland Street, where Renee was shot and killed. There was already a vigil set up there. They've been there all night long.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Could we maybe
turn the music down? Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love the song, but we're not going to be able to hear you, and I want to make sure that if you've got a point to make, we got you.
Let's maybe get out of. Let's just back up. I just don't want to.
Okay, we're good right here. We're good right here.
Anyway.
Sorry.
We start over?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're starting over.
Oh,
Sure.
I want to know what you saw
Over there?
with the car kind of driving through fast. What did you see?
Sure. I didn't see that. I'm sorry. I can't comment on it. I'm sorry.
Where did you come from and why?
So I came in from Vegas. I flew in last night at 11:30 because of the shooting of Renee Good. I haven't slept yet because I went down to Portland Street where she was shot. There's a vigil that's been there the entire time. They've been up all night. They've closed the street down over there. If you haven't been, you should go see it. We stayed up and kept a vigil there until it was time to come here. And we're just going to keep moving around town. We're going to keep making noise.
I got one more question. Dusty, do you need the music a little quieter?
It's okay, I think.
Now, I want to ask you because, we see a lot of the comments on our social media posts and stuff of protesters who come in from out of town.
Sure.
And people say they don't care about this community, they don't have a vested stake, they're just professional agitators. What would you say to somebody who levels that accusation?
First, to be a professional, you have to get paid. which I don't, and none of my friends that I know that do this stuff do. But I came here because I care. I don't know anybody here except the people that I met in the last 10 hours. But I know that as Americans, we cannot sit at home and watch this on our phones. We have to go and do something, you know. And the term agitator is ridiculous. Yes, I'm calling them what they are. I'm calling them murderers. I'm calling them assholes. I'm calling them all that stuff. But you know, I'm not jumping in front of their cars, and we're not trying to start a war here. We're trying to prevent one. We're trying to get freedom to kick in. We're trying to get the Constitution to be remembered. We're trying to remind the rest of the American people that if we don't take this seriously, the soldiers on these streets, it's all too familiar. History repeats itself, and you don't have to look very hard to play this out and see where it's going.
And can I have you say and spell your first and last name for me?
Sure. It's Ty, T-Y, H-A-N-S-E-N.
And how do you pronounce it?
Hansen. Sorry, Hansen.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
No problem. Who
Thank
you
you
guys
for your
with?
time. Care 11 News, NBC. Thank you.
Stay warm.
That was a soundbite machine. That was good to get an out-of-town perspective like that. That was smart thinking. Tripod in the middle of the fucking road. Why? Nobody gonna take that. And if they did, you know.
I talked to one of the marshals of the protest who said that it was designed for 1 hour and it is now over.
Super icy, be careful. All of this will be ice leading up to the car. Is that it for lives?
I just asked Megan.
Car here. Oh, God, I'm stiff.
I cannot wait to go back through and watch the video that I got on my phone of the moment that that happened. Because I did get it.
Yeah. I mean, that easily could have been 2 dead people at least. That was so close. That was so close, Audrey. I have absolute adrenaline pumping through me now, and I feel like I need to go on a fucking 5-mile run. That was crazier than hell. I don't know how they didn't run someone over. I really don't.
For right now, we're not clear.
Okay, well, we'll be not clear then. I'm gonna warm up though. We almost saw somebody get fucking run over. I mean, honestly, I saw some shit. Today was just ridiculous. I think this one here is the one. Somebody comes and is like scooted through somehow past that red car, right through the middle of it. I think I got that shot. This guy came flying through right through the middle of it all. I guess that's what we'll do. I hope Jenny's over there. Traffic stop. We may not be able to get there. We're gonna have to try to go all the way around. Audrey, they got the whole line of traffic stopped all the way back to here. Just let them know that.
Okay. Do you want me to
We'll try. Just tell them we'll try. But it looks like they have this all blocked off. We're not going to be able to get this way. We're going to have to go all the way around to get it. And Unless Jenny's there, we might be screwed on this one. But that's where she should be, I would think. I hope she is. Sure, I got everything. Sure, good enough. Yeah, see this traffic line? That's all stopped because of that. I guarantee fucking see it. We're gonna figure out a way all the way around this motherfucker, I think. And I can see down there, maybe they're
You can see there's still a group that's moved down the street. We are still in front of the Whipple Building, this federal property where ICE is housed, where we've seen some immigration hearings, a lot of protest activity over the last couple of weeks. Let me walk you through the last 10 minutes or so. There was a large group of protesters down the street blocking a different entrance where law enforcement vehicles were entering. Things got tense there. There was some pushing, some shoving, but by and large, it ended with folks chanting, meeting with the law enforcement who were kind of guarding the building in a line. Then things started to clear up. They started to move on back to the original meeting point. And I talked to one of the organizers, and he said that that version of the protest was scheduled for an hour, designed to be 1 hour, and then they kind of wrapped things up and moved. I don't know if everybody here is associated with that particular protest. Obviously, we've spoken to some folks who have come from out of town to demonstrate here. So you can see there are still demonstrators here. I don't know if they, again, are part of the original protest that was supposed to be a nonviolent protest. Now, as we were driving up here, we needed to move our vantage point. As we were driving here, I did speak to somebody walking away from the scene who said that they saw someone get detained. That's something that, of course, we need to verify, but, there are still very much protesters here. You can see folks in tactical gear, law enforcement. We've seen a lot of folks wearing police DHS vests, police border patrol vests. You can see, though, they are suited up here. Things appear to be a little bit calmer at this exact moment, but as we've said all morning, it kind of goes back and forth. Things get loud, things get tense, then they kind of back off, then chanting begins. Kind of a little bit of a cycle, but this is what we're seeing right now. You can see a long line. Dusty, I don't know if you can pan all the way down here, but you can see just how many law enforcement officers there are in the middle of this street in front of the Whipple building. They're kind of out here in a line, almost at this point now as many members of law enforcement as there are protesters. But yeah, there's just a big showing out here in front of the Whipple building. Back to you. Yeah, I've been doing my best to kind of scan the badges and the uniforms of the folks that I'm seeing, and I have not seen any local law enforcement. This does appear to be all DHS folks, but again, there's a lot of people out here, so all I can say is that I have not seen any local law enforcement. This, again, does appear to be DHS and DHS alone. I'd say it's definitely thinned out. Yeah, you can hear there are still some folks chanting. Yeah, I'd say it has thinned out, but if you look down the street in both directions, it's kind of spread out a little bit. But I definitely say it's reduced. I'd say there are still, easily dozens and dozens of people here. Dusty, if you look all the way down the street that way towards the train station, you can see more folks down as you get closer to the railroad tracks. But again, it's thinned out. Definitely thinned out from what we saw around an hour ago, but there's still a large number of people here, and there's more ICE agents and more law enforcement that we're seeing out here as well. Yeah, so we've seen a lot here. Let's walk this way. We've seen a lot of folks, different ages, young and old. What they're telling me, the younger folks, the high school students, they're telling me that they are afraid. I spoke to some high school students from Roosevelt High, and that's where some ICE activity allegedly went down yesterday. There's some details that we're still looking to firm out, but they tell us that they were afraid, and that's why they wanted to come out here and express some of the fear and the anger that they're feeling. I spoke to somebody who tells me he flew in from Las Vegas, and I asked him, there are a lot of times accusations that get leveled at folks who travel from out of state to come in and demonstrate. He told me that he feels as though he can't watch what's going on from his phone screen. He wanted to come out and demonstrate in a state where he doesn't live, because he cares about what's going on in the country. So yeah, we're seeing some folks from out of town here. We're also seeing some folks who have lived in Minneapolis their entire lives. I spoke to one gentleman who says that he is ashamed. That was the term he used from what he's seeing. So really all different types of people who are out here at what was supposed to be a peaceful protest. This was billed as a peaceful protest from 7:30 to 8:30. That's how long this was supposed to last. From the beginning to the end, and now extending beyond. We've seen tension, we've seen pushing and shoving, we've seen, obviously emotions are very high, very raw right now. So we're going to continue to stay on scene and just monitor what's going on. But it appears as though there's a little bit of a lull in that tension, and it's just kind of a watchful wait stance that some of these folks are taking here. Back to you.
can't believe that woman got shot in the face. Yeah, that happened. And you are signed up for that.
Yeah, they don't care about it.
I think some of these people think it was okay. Oh, the masks are going on. Because look at us. We are scary grandmas. Scary grandmas. Look at the kids now. Oh my God.
From these protesters is that these people who actually came here only to make a potential war.
There's been at least 3 times where
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, we've kind of taken a walk down the line here. We're almost to the train tracks at this point, and you can see that there are, you guys summed it up pretty well, honestly, law enforcement as far as the eye can see, ICE and Border Patrol, federal agents out here. You can actually kind of see them, Dusty, I don't know if you can zoom in, sort of spilling onto the train tracks a little bit, kind of at the railroad crossing. And then the line of federal agents extending all the way down the street in front of the Whipple building. So it feels fairly calm right now from what we're seeing. We're hearing some chanting. We're hearing protesters kind of trying to talk one-on-one and engage with some of the officers, with some of the federal agents. They are largely remaining quiet, not interacting back with the protesters as they try to engage in some sort of one-on-one conversations. So yeah, basically this is what we're continuing to see out here. This is longer than the initial protest that we told you about, that one that started at 7:30. Organizers say that was designed to be 1 hour. They told me that they were wrapping up their portion of it, so these folks may not necessarily be associated with that first protest. These may be additional folks that just wanted to come out here and make their voices heard. We're seeing signs, we're seeing people of all ages standing here in front of the Whipple building. And again, for those of you just joining us, or if you are not sure what the Whipple building is, this is a federal property. This is where some DHS agents have been housed, and this is where immigration hearings have been going on. So there's obviously some signs, some expletives that we've been seeing. I apologize if you saw that sign that was just over my shoulder. This is a live broadcast. We can't really necessarily control what's going on, but it'd be nice if maybe we could try to get somebody to talk here about why they wanted to come out here. Sir, why did you want to come out to this protest today?
Well, I'm singing. I was singing. You interrupted my song.
My apologies, but would you care to express why you wanted to come out here and sing today?
Well, because the song means I'm not from this land and I don't know anyone. Whoever does well by my children, may God repay him. Like this, trying to stay together, I'm not going to get anywhere. I will not gain. Like this, my sorrow is always more, never less. And a little piece of my heart I keep you within. It's flamenco, cante. It's people who've been on the outside for a long time, gypsies, you know. So I was singing.
All right, well, thank you, sir, for your time. We'll let you get back to it. All right, so obviously, you know, folks of different backgrounds all coming out here right now. There's a lot going on. Dusty, let's walk this way a little bit and just try to see some other folks might want to talk about. We're trying to move. It's a little bit precarious. It's a little bit icy, and we're just trying to walk carefully here. You'll see there are a lot of folks out here with respirators right now. Yes, and it is a little bit cold out here. We were told by some folks that there was tear gas that was deployed earlier at the scene. We did not see that happen, but we do see a lot of folks out with respirators, so we do want to be careful and make sure that we're taking care. Excuse me, would you folks be willing to explain why you wanted to come out here today?
Sorry, we're not protesters, we're media also.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it is a little bit difficult to tell sometimes.
Rapid response stuff, but I was definitely going to be here today for this.
Hello?
Hi, is it? Yeah, it'd be nice just to hear a little bit about why you wanted to come out here, what you've seen. Did you see any tear gas get deployed?
No, I'm a Minnesotan. We stand up for common decency. And I'll tell you what, this is wrong what's happening in Minnesota and across our country. These people of color, brown skin, brown eyes, they're hardworking people. They're doing the work nobody else will do.
And, what have you seen just as you've been standing out in front of the Whipple building for the,
I've been here for an hour, and this has been a peaceful demonstration. We want to de-escalate, and there's a lot of anger here, but we want to keep it cool, keep it nonviolent, keep the peace. But when these guys are here, respectfully, we're on federal property. This is an Air Force base. But when we're here, they're not out chasing immigrants, people with brown skin and brown eyes. This is a racist act by the President of the United States.
All right, thank you for your time, sir. Yeah, you can tell there's obviously a lot of emotion. Let's walk back over this way. So yeah, we came out here, came over to this area earlier from where we were. From where we were earlier in the morning, again, we did see some pushing and shoving. We saw some shoving back and forth, a little bit of tension, but no tear gas at that point was deployed. Walking over by the train tracks, my photographer and I did start to feel a little bit of a catch in the back of our throat. We did talk to somebody who said that they saw tear gas get deployed, but again, these are details we'd have to confirm. It is very cold out here, and obviously there's been a lot of tension this entire morning. Emotions are high. Again, we did not see tear gas get deployed. This is what we're hearing from other folks out here. We're seeing a lot of folks with respirators. So those would be details that we need to, again, confirm. But what I can say is we do see a lot of federal agents in front of the building lining the street. You can hear, though, there's no more chanting. Things appear to have calmed down a little bit. And so, yeah, that's honestly what we're seeing in front of the Whipple building here. Back to you. Bro, I started to not be able to talk.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely tear gas.
At least we were after the fact, because it's better to breathe it in than it is to feel it in your eyes.
No, I definitely was struggling to talk. And I'm like, it's not cold. There's something in the back of my throat.
Oh yeah. That's what I was trying to say. I can taste it. It's exactly what happened when I was 2 feet away from it. Just ask you what you saw.
Thank you so much.
What's your name?
Thank you. Yeah, I'll have you look right at me.
Yeah, hi.
I know I talked to you earlier.
Yeah.
What did you you saw the tear gas get deployed. What happened? Was someone arrested?
Yeah, my name's Kevin Whalen. I saw people were peacefully standing near the gates, and it was near the gate near the light rail. I came down after people had mostly moved back to the sidewalk, but it looked like a group of federal agents were across the street from the federal building near the public sidewalk and public grass area trying to grab somebody and haul him away. I don't know what had happened just before that, but they aggressively grabbed somebody, put him in a headlock, and hauled him back across the street from public property. After that, I saw tear gas, a cloud emerging, and a lot of us were coughing and rubbing our eyes.
Yeah, we were actually just over there. We can kind of feel it in the back of our throat. We hear some people coughing a little bit. What's your reaction to what you saw? You see all of this go down, especially after, the protest down that way, which was a little bit more peaceful, it sounded like, in that there wasn't any tear gas deployed. What's the difference between what was down there and what's here?
I think people were here to peacefully stand up for their neighbors. We don't want ICE or the Border Patrol out in the neighborhoods kidnapping our neighbors, so people were willing to stand in the way, stand in the street in a public roadway, and say that they weren't going to let these agencies go out and take their neighbors. I saw protesters talking, singing, chanting, sometimes arguing. I didn't see anybody raise their hands. These were peaceful people that were willing to take a risk to keep their neighbors safe. And in many cases, the agents came out from behind the federal building, across the sidewalk. I saw them come across the street to a public area to grab somebody and put them in a headlock. So we know this kind of violence is being perpetrated in our neighborhoods against immigrant neighbors, against people that just because of their skin color or where they are. And people came here to say that we're not going to let that happen. We're going to run this risk together because we're one Minnesota.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Could I actually have you spell it?
Kevin.
And you're rolling, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Kevin, Kevin, Whelan, Whelan.
Okay.
Thank you.
The last name I wasn't sure if we got.
Piggyback him again. She was in the same guy right afterward. Come on, Kelsey, you can do this. Come on. Hopefully she got some stuff because she was right here wrong. Looks like she was right here where she was supposed to be. That'd be good.